Om Amriteshwarye Nama. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Amma. A very warm good morning to everyone. Welcome to the one-day workshop on Parikshapaddhati, organized by Amrita IKS Centre for Ayurveda, Vyakarana and Darshana. Let us begin the workshop by seeking the blessings of Almighty. I request everyone to please raise for prayer.
वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिनीं श्यामाङ्गीं मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरीम्.
Good morning, everyone. Namaste and very good morning to one and all. So here we are amongst our esteemed guests, and today is a one-day workshop on the topic Jnana to Vijnana, organized by the Amrita IKS Centre for Ayurveda, Vyakarana and Darshana. And we are deeply grateful for the IKS Division who has funded this project by which we are organizing this outreach program. And it is our very fortunate, we are really fortunate to have Swami Achyutamrita Chaitanya. He is the principal of the School of Cultural and Spiritual Studies, Amritapuri. And we are also fortunate to have amongst us Dr. Ramesh N. He is the principal in charge of Amrita School of Ayurveda, and Dr. Rammanohar Sir, the research director of Amrita School of Ayurveda, and distinguished faculties and dear students. So we are really happy to have you here for our one-day workshop. And so let's see how. So this actually would be in 5 sessions. This workshop would be in 5 sessions, and the speakers would be Dr. Rammanohar Sir, Dr. Devi, Dr. Devishri, Dr. Sujitra, and myself, who would engage you in different aspects of this Jnana to Vijnana concept. And so let's hear to all the speakers. So with this, these words, I welcome you all once again. Thank you.
A very warm welcoming. Parikshapaddhati, about the timeless wisdom of India's intellectual traditions and how it can be harmoniously integrated with the contemporary scientific approaches. Let me welcome Dr. Rammanohar P, a research director, Amrita School of Ayurveda, to give us an overview on Parikshapaddhati. Sir, please.
Amriteshwarye Namaha. My pranams to Achyutamrita Swamiji, Dr. Ramesh, all the faculty and students who have assembled here today. In a short while, I will be giving a elaborate, lecture on Parikshapaddhati. So I'm not going to speak much. We have now this Indian knowledge system movement. Have you heard of this? No. So this is called as IKS. So the Ministry of Education has taken it up as a very important initiative to create awareness amongst the new generation on IKS. So I know I can understand why they are doing it, because nobody here seems to know what is IKS. So IKS means Indian systems of knowledge, because our traditions have been considered as pre-scientific or mostly religion, spirituality. It is not appreciated amongst the scientific community or even the global community that we can contribute to knowledge. So that is why Ayurveda is also, because Indian knowledge systems are not recognized, Ayurveda is also not getting. There is some kind of a block, mental block. When it comes to Ayurveda, we generally tend to also classify it as alternate systems without a scientific basis. I hope you are aware of that. Now in India and especially in Kerala, there is a big campaign going on against Ayurveda, that it is not scientific and it is affecting the way Ayurveda is developing and growing also. So the Ministry of Education has come up with, and it is part of our NEP. Do you know NEP? No, it is National Education Policy. So as part of the National Education Policy, it is a mandate that Indian knowledge systems should be incorporated into our educational curriculum. So in order to develop the content and materials to teach students about Indian knowledge systems, especially at the school level, a lot of effort is going on. And as part of this initiative, the Ministry of Education announced a proposal that different institutions can set up IKS centers, Indian knowledge system centers. Because if we want to spread this knowledge, we need to create the resources. We need to have people who are experts in this field. We need to have content, material, textbooks. Now if you talk about IKS, you may all be wondering where you can read about it, whom you can ask about it. So we need the people's resources, infrastructure. So as part of that initiative, the IKS Center project was announced, and I'm happy to say that Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham became one of the first 13 IKS centers in our country, and when the grant was announced. So this program is being organized by our Amrita IKS Centre. It is a collaboration between the School of Spiritual and Cultural Studies and Amrita School of Ayurveda. So here we are we have 3 focus areas. 2 of them are, one is purely related to Ayurveda, other is related to Vyakarana, and the third area is what we are going to discuss today, called Parikshapaddhati. So I just want to give a background of why we are doing this event and how you may benefit from it. Although that this is not something which we are going to discuss today, because I don't want to say anything about Parikshapaddhati now, because I will shortly be speaking about that, because most of you are coming from another institution. You may not be aware of the background, so I thought I'll spend a little time explaining it. The Amrita IKS Centre is focusing on 3 areas. One is Arogya Samskriti, the other is Ashtadhyayi. Have you heard of Ashtadhyayi? No. Have you studied some Sanskrit grammar? So you can see this is the reason why IKS awareness has to happen. Now I have asked so many questions about Indian knowledge systems which none of you are aware of, and you are students of Ayurveda. Students of Ayurveda which is related to IKS field. These are all the background information we need to know. Ashtadhyayi is a master. Have you heard of Panini? There is a food called Panini that is seen when you go to Europe. That's not that Panini. This is a great, who was Panini? He was a great grammarian. So his masterpiece, which is even today considered superior to any exposition on grammar in any language, it's Ashtadhyayi. So if you want to develop any science, we need 3 things. One is the research methodology. Yes or no? We need a sound methodology for knowledge creation, validation. Then we need language, right? Without these 2 things, you cannot create any science. The third thing is the subject matter of the science. So our IKS Centre is focusing on how we can bring these 3 things together within an IKS framework. Arogya Samskriti is dealing with Ayurvedic content. Ashtadhyayi, because every science requires its own technical language. Do you agree or not? When you are studying mathematics, you have its own technical terminologies, formulas. When you study physics, the language changes or not? Yes. the language. You cannot explain chemistry with the language of physics. You cannot explain biology purely with the language of physics. It needs its own terminology, it's its own ways of expression, understanding. Today we are not realizing these differences. So today one of the problems is that we are trying to explain Ayurveda in a language through which it cannot be explained. We need the language of Ayurveda itself. And that is why we are focusing on Vyakarana as one aspect. How we can create a, because today studying Sanskrit is very difficult. I have some bad news for you, for the Ayurveda community, that just now from NCSM there was a call and they are going to make Sanskrit compulsory to learn as part of Samhita Siddhanta. But the problem is, how can we make this study of Ayurvedic language? The goal of studying Sanskrit is not to become a poet or a grammarian for Ayurveda students, is it not? So that sometimes that goal is lost. When you teach Sanskrit, a Sanskrit specialist may focus more on the language, more on the grammar, more on poetry, and then when you have come to study medicine, you will get lost. So we need to bring Sanskrit in a way that it becomes the technical language of Ayurveda. That much all we need to know. We need to know enough Sanskrit so that the terminologies can be understood deeply. You don't need to learn Sanskrit in a way that you become an expert in that language. Now many people who study medicine, they cannot even speak properly in English, but still they know the language enough to learn the content of the medicine. So that much of Sanskrit is needed. So these are the three things. So the third part is the research methodology. It is really very, very important. Now this part is very important, and that is why we are trying to do a workshop on Parikshapaddhati. Is that Ayurveda, as a matter of fact, it is important to know that Ayurveda is still not accepted as a valid medical system globally. The reason is that people say it is not scientific, there is no scientific evidence. Even in India, we are still facing this problem. Although Ayurveda is recognized as an independent medical system, it is not well integrated into the healthcare setup. Even if you try to bring Ayurveda into mainstream public health interventions or establish it in collaboration with modern medicine, there is a lot of resistance. So we want to show that Ayurveda also has its own system of validating knowledge, and that is what we are calling as Parikshapaddhati. So what we are going to discuss today is how scientific evidence can be generated in Ayurveda using our own methodologies and taking whatever is relevant from modern science. So this is actually a lot of you are in the first years and second years. So you have finished Padartha Vijnana. Yes. So that is a lost subject most of the time, because you are not able to understand how to apply it. So what we are done through Parikshapaddhati is to bring these concepts in a way that you will find how to apply them in your learning of Ayurveda. In fact, these concepts are what creates the knowledge base of Ayurveda. So even it is something which you need throughout your career. Whenever you want to validate Ayurveda, before somebody asks a question, how Ayurveda works, how do we know whether what is written in Ayurveda is correct or not? Today what we have before us are only the modern methodologies. We will have to take the medicine. We have also a good lab here. Take it, break it down into components, and then test and see what chemical is working. This is the only way we know now to create evidence. Is there another way? You are all second year, so you may not fully understand. Do you know how many chemicals are there in one medicinal plant? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, thousands. Guess. How many are there in one plant? How many may be there? Just guess. Huh? Will be hundreds, thousands. It could be even in thousands. So nobody has today made a list of all the chemicals available in a medicinal plant. Now if you take a yoga like Chavanaprasha, which has about 50 ingredients, so 50 into 1000, how much it will be? 50,000 chemicals. Now it is impossible to analyze all these 50,000 chemicals and explain how Chavanaprasha is working. This is what the world is demanding from us. So how do we explain the mode of action of Chavanaprasha? Is there another way which tells how all these chemicals are working together and creating a synergistic action? These are the questions that we are going to ask in our Parikshapaddhati. How do we explain Ayurveda to the world? Today what happens is they will analyze all these chemicals, take 3 or 4 chemicals out of it and then try to make a medicine. But that is not Chavanaprasha anymore. So the originality of Ayurveda is being lost through the kind of scientific investigations that we are doing. And we are hoping that all of you as youngsters, you need to get exposed to this thought process at the beginning of the course. Then only you can build it up, and we are hoping that by propagating Parikshapaddhati, we will be able to create a new generation of Ayurveda physicians who are well grounded, who will be able to defend the Shastra. There is something called a Shastra Rakshanam. We need to defend our Shastra also. Now our community is unable to defend. You can see Facebook everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, we are being bombarded. But even I am not knowing. I'm not saying I am so great that I should be doing it because we have been in the field of research. We are struggling to find out how is it that we can actually confront these questions. And with that need in mind only, we have worked out this Parikshapaddhati, and we have come to a stage where we would like to share it with everybody. So this is just a conceptual, perspectival backdrop. So I hope you got an idea why we are doing this, and then in the next sessions we will try to explain to you what Parikshapaddhati is all about. So welcome and thank you.
Om Namaste Gurave Nityam Sahajanandarupine Yasya Vagamritam Handi Visham Samsara Samnyakam Jagadi Vididam Ayurvedam Adau Vyadhatyas Salasadamrita Patra Srikara Srinivasa Sadrisha Divishadali Padmini Reshmi Malin Nagadi Magadaya Sheshe Shadhanvantare Mam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kridamastakanjalim Bashpavari Paribhurnalojanam Marudim Namada Rakshasandakam. I bow down at Amma's lotus feet, and my respectful salutations to Dr. Rammanohar Ji, Dr. Ramesh Ji, and my greetings to all the new faces that are seen today. I take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Rammanohar Ji and his team for organizing such a beautiful topic. Even though I am a frequent visitor in Ayurveda, for many events I have visited, but this Parikshapaddhati, I was not aware of such a thing. I know about only this Nadi Pariksha and looking in, opening the mouth and seeing the tongue. Then these Vaidyas will press the eyes under the eyelids and see whether something is red or white in the eyes. So only this much things. Then I have heard that the stool is looked, the urine is looked to see whether there is any disease. But now the challenges which we are facing, our tradition is facing, Indian knowledge system is facing, is presented by in short or in a very small span of time, short span of time. Dr. Rammanohar Ji presented the serious issue that we are facing, this challenge that we are facing. This we are also facing, and we also had this when we had to evaluate the meditation courses which are offered as mandatory courses to all the engineering and arts and science students across the Amrita University UG and PG courses. How to give marks for integrated Amrita meditation and MAO, mastery over mind courses. I think there is no solution for it, because it is a spiritual thing which is related to your own self, but it cannot be evaluated. Anyway, it is accepted by our great rishis, because a great Mahatma who has realized his self can never be understood by others, it is said. And the master finds it difficult to even impart the knowledge to the disciple when topics related to spirituality comes. Na vijanimo na vidmaha kathamedat anushishyat. The Guru tells the disciple, after explaining everything, he finds it very, very difficult, and he finds himself in a dilemma that I don't know how to impart this knowledge to you, or disciple, or shishya. This is what the Guru faces, the dilemma that the Guru faces. But it should not be the case with Ayurveda, which is a aparavidya. This spirituality is a paravidya. So this incapability to impart the knowledge is justifiable. But in a aparavidya, it should not be like that. But even in aparavidya, we face this problem. When grammar or tarkashastra, all these things are taught, there are some more dependable parameters or tools to impart and to evaluate the knowledge. But when literature, art, etc. come, this difficulty is felt. How can rasa anubhuti be explained? This is a very big question faced by alankarikas, the aestheticians or poeticians. They don't know how to measure the chemistry behind rasa. Rasa is not the rasa that you deal with. It is the rasa that the sahityagaras and sahitya shastragaras, kavya shastragaras face. So they say, sahrade pradidireva tatra pramanam. One who listens to the poetry or watches the natya, he has a experience. Sahridaya, he should be sahridaya, that is the first condition. If he is not a sahridaya means one who can relate to the topic. A sahridaya has a feeling, a pradidi, when he watches a drama or listens to a poetry. So his pradidi, his experience itself is pramanam there. There is no way to measure. There are big debates over rasa. What is the rasa? Even the basic thing is questioned. If, for example, when Valmiki Ramayana is taken for discussion, some people say that the rasa is Shanta. But there are famous people like Bhavabhudi, who wrote Uttararama Sarita, who says it is Karuna. The main rasa of Valmiki's Ramayana is Karuna. But as others may refute, I don't exactly remember who refuted, maybe Anandavardhana, who is the greatest Shastrakara of poetics, Kavya Shastra. If my memory is correct, he proposes that it is Shantarasa in Valmiki Ramayana. So the main thing, that is the rasa, which is the atma of poetry. Kavyasya atma rasaha. Vakyam rasatmakam kavyam is the definition. So the first thing that has to be discussed in poetry itself is debatable, which is the rasa of a poem. So there is the yardstick become highly subjective. Then the confusion or the what do you say, the contradictions are solved with the statement tatra sahridaya pradidireva pramana. But when Ayurveda comes, there are clients who are patients for you. But in literature and poem, there is or art, there is no client. There are only sahridayas or samajikas, who the spectators or the listeners. So it is not that much difficult, because it is not mandatory that one should have a yardstick to measure rasa, alankara, all these things. But for you, it is not like that. For Ayurveda, it is very necessary. the Parikshapaddhati, I don't know exactly what is meant by Parikshapaddhati. Anyway, I would like to sit at least up to lunch to know what Parikshapaddhati is. Pariksha has many meanings. Rammanohar Ji has very rightly brought your attention to the meaning of the words in different sciences, different shastras. I was reminded of a word guna, and I asked Dr. Ramesh Ji, actually what is guna in Ayurveda? There is a vibhaga itself, Dravya Guna Vibhaga. And from my general knowledge, I have heard that guna mainly are Shida and Ushna. Am I right? Maybe there are many gunas. That is in Ayurveda. But another topic, another auxiliary topic that you all are studying, which is mandatory for you, that is Sankhya Shastra. There the meaning of guna changes. It is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So the same word in two subjects that you pursue have two meanings. But when we come to grammar, Paniniya, Adeng Gunaha, At and Eng, the two Samaharas, that is the Shiva Sutras, these Mahashwara Sutras are used to make Samaharas, no? So At and Eng are guna in grammar. In our general language, our common language, guna is something else. Qualities, good qualities. And it has another meaning. That meaning I couldn't understand till recently. I used to read Narayaniyam, and there is a phrase, Pani Guna Madivat. I have read it many times, but I just skipped that passage. I thought some manikya, there is a jewel on Pani, or on a serpent, and maybe it was referred there or indicated there. But when I went to the commentary, I understood. There is Pani Guna Madi is Rajju Sarpa Buddhi. Pani is Sarpa. Guna is Rajju. Guna has another meaning, thread, a twine, a rope. Guna has that meaning. So, Pani Mani means Pani Guna. Pani Guna means Rajju and Sarpa. Madi is Buddhi, Jnana. So, Rajju Sarpa Bhranti is mentioned by Narayana Bhattacharya in the Narayana as Pani Guna Madi. So, the word Guna, how many meanings are there? And each meaning has to be understood and applied so that we can understand the meaning from the, which is the meaning in that context. So in Parikshapaddhati also, all these things are relevant. Knowing the fundamentals is the first thing. Then applying them is the next thing. And using the tools which are already available is another thing. And creating new tools is the biggest challenge that we are facing at present, according to Dr. Rammanohar Ji's short presentation. So we all, the people who are following Indian knowledge systems are responsible persons to bring out solutions to such challenges. How to make the Parikshapaddhati, I think it can be translated as evaluation techniques or something like that. No, evaluation tools. I don't know. I will listen to the paper to the presentation.
Why we chose that word? It is open. It is something which is in the process of development. So
anyway, yes, it's a very, very good initiative, there is no doubt. When I heard this Parikshapaddhati, the first thing that came to my mind was Mundagopanishad's famous sloka, mantra, Pariksha Logan Karmajidan, Brahmano Nirvedamayat, Nastya Agrida Kritena, Tadvijnanartham Sagachet, Gurumeva Bhigachet, Srotriyam Brahmanishtam Samitpanihi. Pariksha Logan, you have to examine the world and understand that Nastya Agrida Kritena, the Agrida, that uncreated Atma, which is not a subject of action, that is Agrida. That cannot be attained by any Krita. By any action, you can never attain to that Agrida. So, Tadvijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. You have to approach a guru, Sostriyam Brahmanishtam, who has already understood the Vedas, the Shrutis, Srotriya, and Brahmanishta, who has realized the essence of Shrutis, that is Brahma. Samitpanihi, with a offering, a simple offering, like a piece of log, Samita. With that you can approach a guru. So Parikshanam is necessary even for spirituality. You have to examine the world and understand that the world will not fulfill your real thirst for knowledge, the real thirst for realizing the reality of the world, the supreme reality. So that pariksha is in spirituality also, we are all free to examine the world and form our own come to our own conclusions and take the next step. This is what is recommended in the Indian tradition, even the spiritual tradition, where faith is very important. Shraddha is the most important thing. But even when promoting or underlining the importance of Shraddha, the option for Pariksha is there. If I go through that subject, it will become very long. Even the Guru should be examined. That is what is said by our teachers, our ancestors. You thoroughly examine the Guru, then only accept the Guru. So there are many stories, many anecdotes, historic events where the Guru was examined by the disciple very rigorously. And very funny things happen when the Shishya examines the Guru, because Shishya is not capable to examine the Guru. But it happens. So this Pariksha is a very vast topic, and as a part of the IKS programs, a Parikshapaddhati is going to be even the first steps to formulate a new Parikshapaddhati or enhance the Parikshapaddhati which is already present in Ayurveda, and clubbing it with or finding parallels in modern different systems of medicines, and bringing those elements into Ayurveda, Parikshapaddhati. All these things are expected outcomes of such workshops, and it has started here, but it may be happening at many places also, other centers also. So the collective result will become a leap in this direction. This is my hope, and I pray for Amma's grace to take this task forward and up to fruition, and then it will be a very great contribution from our side, even though it may be little, but it will be great, and the blessings and the grace for this small step may be very big. An abundant flow of grace may be showered on us. So let us take this step, and I take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Rammanohar Ji, and welcome all of you to this workshop, and expect intellectual deliberations, discussions, and new findings, new direction for all of us to go forward. With this, I offer my words at Amma's lotus feet. Om Amriteshwari.
Thank you, Swamiji, for your insightful words and for your valuable time. Now, let me welcome Dr. Ramesh N, Principal, Amrita School of Ayurveda, for the Felicitation Address. Sir, please.
Amrita Namaha. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Amma. Pranams to Swamiji, Rammanohar Sir, Dr. Nisha, and all the faculties of Amrita Center for Research in Ayurveda, and pranams to all of you. Welcome to Amrita School of Ayurveda. And I don't speak much, basically because I don't know much about it, and they are going to teach whatever it is. I just want to narrate a small incident. I know 90% of you wanted to become a doctor, and out of that 90%, another 95% among the 90% wanted to become an MBBS doctor. Because you didn't get an MBBS seat, you joined Ayurveda. There may be one or two exceptions, it's a fact. Even it has happened with me also. And once you come into Ayurveda, I think you have finished your 1.5 years, and I know that more than 50% of you are still in confusion what I am going to do with this study. It happens, it has happened to me quite long back. And I will tell you an incident. Yesterday I have been to a place where one of my student has opened a big hospital. It's a quite big, huge hospital. He has invested in crores after 18 years of successful practice. And he wanted to call his teachers, and two of us went. I was working earlier in Karnataka, and two of us went. And the inspiration for him was a doctor who has studied in that college and has his practice. And that inspirational person was telling yesterday, when he was in second year, they were all sitting outside the college campus and having a discussion. Same thing, like second year students are where we are now, Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vannehi, what we are going to do, especially when it comes to the boys, what we are going to do. And Dr. Rammanohar sir was there, even in that college, and sir was standing there and these students were discussing, and a student challenged sir. Sir, you are telling so many things. Sir used to take classes for UG students who were there. And that student challenged sir. Sir, you are telling so many things standing on the dais. Somewhere we find it right also. You might have also felt, a Kaumara teacher comes and tells beautifully about Kaumara. Next you are going to see it. Then at the 4 o'clock when they are going home, they will tell you, Kunjanga Sukhavilla, I have to take him to a pediatrician. A Prasuti Sri Roga teacher will come and tell everything about beautiful procedure, what explained in Ayurveda about Garbha Pariposhana Krama, etc., etc. And at 5 o'clock you will be able to see her in a gynecologist clinic. And naturally a doubt comes where Ayurveda ends. This was the doubt even that student has. He openly challenged Rammanohar sir. Sir, you are telling. Sir was also, speaking about from day one. He was into the philosophy of Ayurveda. And sir said, if you really want to see Ayurveda working, I can show you a place where you can go learn and come back. And that student took a challenge. He planned to tour. It's in North Kerala, a hospital. Sir has suggested he came. Just want to stay there for 2 months. And his stay continued for 1 year. And he visited many places. Went back. He started his Ayurveda practice. And, yeah. Yeah, he was practicing. He stopped completely allopathy practice and started Ayurveda practice, not like a general practice. He himself went and collected the raw drug. He bought it. He prepared his own medicine. He bottled it. He started giving it. He himself started doing massage. It's not that you write Abhyanga for 7 days and ask someone to do it, because he learnt in that way. And now he is established. He is doing well. He has inspired the other doctor who has opened. They are couple. They have opened a hospital yesterday, and it was such a big function. There are film stars, there are politicians, and the hospital is worth of crores. Both of them are just BA, MS doctor, husband and wife. If you go and see, you don't believe that it can be an Ayurveda hospital run by a BMS couple. And he was, while after the function, when we are coming back, all three of us were there, he was telling Rammanohar sir, on that day, if I wouldn't put a question, I wouldn't have challenged you. And if you wouldn't have told me that it is possible, I can show you, this wouldn't have happened. This is what you need to take. The biggest problem with NCISM curriculum syllabus is, you have a textbook, you read it like you have done for your +2 or entrance, you by heart formula, you write, you start from Yatra yatra dhumaha, and even final year you start studying about some Rasna Saptaka Kashaya, come out and you don't know where you are. But if you can start it now, he still says that he has started in second year, understand the philosophy of Ayurveda, try to do. No acharyas have written a textbook. You might have seen the textbooks. It has everything is between a discussion between a teacher and a disciple. Charaka has not written. Sushruta, it was a discussion. And the one thing, I am basically from Karnataka, here from past 18 years, and I see students never opens, never responds. That is not the way to study. You start questioning. If you are afraid of questioning teachers, question yourself, open the book, purchase samhitas, try to read, and I think that is going to help you. You can become. Many people have told you, Ayurveda is an individualistic science. There is no Chikitsa Sutra, standard Chikitsa Sutra, based on patient's condition, disease condition. You need to modify. There was no corona during Charaka's period, but Ayurveda people are successfully treating corona because they have developed a Chikitsa Sutra, because they could able to understand the essence of Ayurveda. This is what you need to do. These sort of sessions I am 100% sure is going to help. This is what IKS is doing in Ayurveda. I need to congratulate the whole team. It's not a single man's effort. There is a whole team ably guided by Rammanohar sir. They are going to do a lot of presentation, and like any seminar classes you may not be able to understand everything. Don't worry. You carry 2 points and try to put it in your daily routine. Try to follow those principles, and I am sure it is going to make you a great physician. I am not telling like Mahatma Gandhi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda quotes. Whatever I told is a real life examples. You will be able to do it. That's what they need of our. Once you prove it, you will be able to get a name. Once you start proving the cases, proving the principles of Ayurveda, world will look at you, they start accepting you. You might be knowing so many surgeons, MS surgeons, when they are not able to treat fistulas, they refer it to Ayurveda colleges for Kshar Sutra. They understood the value. How? They could able to prove it. It's easy to prove Kshar Sutras because it is simple, whereas treating internal disease is little bit difficult, but still it is possible. I hope you get an inspiration from today's session. You start reading Shastra the way the Shastra has to be read, not like what NCSM says. And of course, you need to read the textbook to pass the exam. There is no doubt about it. But other than exam also, you need to study, and hope you will study it and shine in future. I once again congratulate IKS for initiating this session, and I am very happy that this has been done to you people. There is more perception now. You can take things forward. If I go and sit in a seminar, if I hear something, I have a very short period where I can prove, but you have a lot of time to prove in your life. You take this. May Amma bless you with all the good things in your life, and I hope the session will be very fruitful. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words.